So I'm at the movie theater, I just got out and I saw Candyman. I was planning to see the movie when it came out, but right around the time I was planning to see it is when the hurricane hit, so evacuation happened. Now, I've seen the original, but it's been decades. That movie came out, I think, 92 or 93, and I was little, and I grew up on horror movies, so I saw it as a child. I recognize Virginia Marsden, but other than that, I remember next to nothing about the original film, which I'm glad for because it allowed me to kind of watch and judge this movie as it is. Now, I'm not a film expert, don't come at me, it's been a long time since I've been in a film class. I do enjoy reading film reviews, and 9 out of 10 I usually agree with critics, but this one, since 2016, Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation, I take what film critics have to say about black films with a grain of salt. Film critics lauded that film as this great cinematic experience, and I thought it was two-dimensional flat. Textbook flat. The same with Get Out, it didn't do anything for me, I don't get the hype. But Candyman 2021, I have thoughts. So this film is a direct sequel to the early 90s original film, so we're just pretending all the films in the middle didn't happen. Which is cool, the Halloween franchise did that twice. Now this film has an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh, and I'm just going to say it plainly, I thought it was boring. I knew it was going to be a little disappointing about 5 minutes in when they had an opportunity for a great setup and they didn't take advantage. The overall aesthetic is very pleasing, the cinematography is great, music is beautiful, the acting was very mediocre, and the writing, me personally, you can tell Jordan Peele had a hand in writing it because it's very evident it's trying really hard to be a social commentary. And that's where they lost me. I have no issue with mixing social issues with film, that's the hidden gem of a lot of horror movies, a lot of them are social commentaries. But in a lot of films where they're trying to make a social point, that social point is like an undertone. It's the background. It's kind of the setting of the entire film, whereas this film is trying to make it an overtone, and it just doesn't work. Once again, this is all my opinion. The social point they're trying to make never quite weaves its way into the story. It never becomes a part of the plot. It's just kind of there in little pockets throughout the film. I understand the point they're trying to make about white supremacy, the relationship between the hood and cops, gentrification and all that jazz. They present these little plot points and plot devices to us with the expectation that we should understand what that means. The director is more focused on making her point than bringing me into it. The direction is so heavy-handed that the Candyman legend itself just gets kind of lost. Speaking of the Candyman, it was not scary. Ironically, the death scenes were so lifeless. My personal opinion, the horror in horror films doesn't come from the events themselves, but it comes from character development, and I thought that was extremely flat. I couldn't find myself caring for these characters, so I didn't care what happened to them. Overall, I thought it was a clunky, episodic mess. It goes from 0 to 100 without building, and the 100 isn't even a peak. I don't know if the point was for us to see him change through her eyes, but it didn't work. And it wasn't scary.